Hi, welcome to Thursday Night Reading Sprint. I'm joined by my friend Shelly Mack, who's the author of Landis and a fantastic bookstagrammer, talker about books. That doesn't even sound like a real thing. I'm very tired.
Yes, that is a real thing.
Yeah, and it's lovely to talk to you in person. We were just saying before we came live how we have chatted a lot online, but not actually face to face. So this is as close to face as I think we'll get for now. But hopefully we'll get to do a book event or something together in the future.
Oh, fingers crossed, that'd be amazing.
So how's it been going? Because your book came out, when was it? Was it towards the end of last year? I've lost all track of
space. So the 7th of November last year, Landis came out. So it's been mad. And I think because you'll know this yourself, obviously, as well, when a book comes out, it kind of takes over everything, and you've got all these events and different things that you're doing. So you've run out of time to actually sit down and write. So I was just saying to yourself there that it's been a while since I've written anything, and I keep waking up in the morning thinking I need to get writing. So thank you for this opportunity tonight, because you forced me to get out of my house in my pajamas and come in here and do some writing. So that's excellent. I'm pleased about that.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. When my first book came out, I did everything. So I got asked to write all these blog posts and do lots of interviews and stuff, and I just did everything, and it took up all my time. And I went all over the country going to bookshops. And I think the second and third books, like, I've slowly got a little bit more, like, I actually need to reserve some energy for myself and to write new stuff. So I think, yeah, that definitely happened to me. There was a good couple of months where I just stopped, and I needed to write the second book too. And I was just thinking, I really need to be writing now, but I can't. I've got to concentrate on promo. And I do find promo hard still. Like, now social media is such a big, I really enjoy it, but it's a big time commitment. And I'm always conscious that I'm trying to promote books and talk about YA books, but I also should be writing in this time I've got. So it's a really tricky balance.
Yeah, it's hard, I think, because you've also got other things as well, like family commitments and that as well. So it's difficult. And, some people will say they spend all the hours of the day on social media, but I don't have time to do that either. So it's trying to weigh up what's the most important, to what's the least important, and just trying to integrate everything into, the small spaces of time that you have. But yeah, it's good. I felt as if Christmas has been great, and New Year, just to get that wind down time and then that recharge. And now, we can start the new year off and just get going with the writing again. So that's been a good thing and a good start to the new year for that.
Yeah, I've nearly finished Mina 3 now. I'm on like my final edits. So in a couple of weeks, I'll be starting a new project, and that's really nice, because for years I've been either working on Mina books or one other project, and that is it. And apart from the anthology, so I'm going to just write something totally different. Well, not totally different, because I'm still me, but something slightly different. There's still going to be murder and kissing at this point. That's all I want to write about, really.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be a book of yours without murder and kissing, so you've got to have that in there, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like it's a must. So are you writing something similar to Landis, or are you in on a different project?
Well, I'm actually taking a little bit of a leap here, because my agent, I've got a book out just now in submission, which is a horror. Well, it's a thriller with a horror speculative edge. And we're just waiting to hear back. Obviously it can take a while, I know that. But I've got my fingers crossed for hopefully something this year. It's not been out in submission long, so we're just kind of waiting. But it's set in Scotland, and it's about two girls who are just about to go to university, and they want this last summer of fun. And they end up going to visit an island with more than one enemy. And it's got some, there's actually some inspired by some real life things that are going on in the world at the moment as well. But I can't really say too much about it just now, just in case it gets picked up soon. Hopefully it will. But what I'm writing at the moment is it's a psychological thriller horror. So it's kind of featuring ghosts and things like that, again set in Scotland, inspired by a place that we go and visit on holiday. It's called Burnt Island. And yeah, so that's what I'm kind of going to work on tonight while we're here, and just get a little bit more of that done. But I think fantasy wise, I'm done with Landis is like the fantasy that I'm writing, but I don't really read fantasy very much. It's weird that I wrote one But I don't know why. I don't know where it came from. But yeah, I wrote it. I needed a lot of help with it because the world building side of things is so tricky. So I was grateful to all the people who put their bit in about it. I'm hoping to have 3 in the series, but at the moment I'm focusing on my thrillers and horrors. So
yeah, I get that. There's other things I want to do too, and it's just deciding. I feel like I've got things lined up in my mind, like what I want to do next. And it's hard to know which one to go for because, like you said, being on submission is rubbish and can take ages. So you've got to write other stuff in the meantime and decide what stuff you're going to write.
Just keeping busy, because you don't want to be checking your emails every 5 minutes.
No, I've been there. It's not fun. So I'm just going to go to the comments and see what people are getting up to tonight, and then you can let us know what else you'll be doing, if anything, and then we can jump to the sprints. Oh, some book recommendations. I like this. They all sound interesting. I haven't heard of any of those, so thank you for that. Hi, Paula.
Hi.
Hi, Adrian. Hi, Jackie. Oh, I think I saw you on Instagram earlier. I was just chatting to Jackie. Hi. Ooh, is that one of the J. Christoph books? Or is that something different? I feel like I'm totally lost now. I've seen this around, but I can't remember who that's by. Are you familiar with it, Shelley?
Yeah, I'm reading God Killer. I've never heard of it.
I haven't. I've seen it on social media, but I'm not sure who it's by. Oh, I've heard good things about the Poppy War. I think that is by the author who wrote Yellowface, and I've forgotten the name of it. What's the really chunky dark academia book? Babel, however you say it.
Yeah.
I think that's the same author. Hi. Yeah, it is nice to have new people on.
Oh, hi, Caroline.
New people to chat to. Oh, I like that title, a gothic mystery thriller. That sounds good. Let me know, Sharon, if you should read.
Gothic mystery thriller. I'm all about that. Great.
I remember you saying you picked that up, Adrian. Lights of Prague's a vampire book, which I have and haven't read yet, which is the story of my life. It does. I like everything about that.
Yeah.
I get that. Ooh, I read Beartown, I think. Did Beartown originally have another title, I think? Is that the hockey, like, horror set in a really cold, I think it's like an ice hockey, set in either America or Canada, really creepy from what I remember.
Well, I love really creepy. I can read really creepy, but not watch it all the time. Sometimes I get too scared, but reading it, I'm all right.
I like both, depending on the subject matter. I'm a scaredy cat when it comes to children being involved, but otherwise I'm generally
okay. Creepy evil children. Oh, that's my worst thing. Yeah. I don't like that either.
I'm going back next week, Sharon, and I'm not looking forward to getting my head back into it. Hi, Kirsty. I was just thinking about you earlier, Kirsty, how I've not seen you for a little while. You need to come on and we can have a catch up. By Hannah Kana. I can picture the cover and everything. I was just thinking it was one of J. Christoph's Nevernight books for some reason. I think he's got one with a similar title to that. Okay, yeah, because was it Ringu, the Japanese version? I think I've watched both. Curse video book, which had a curse video. Okay, I haven't heard of that either. Yes, please, let's have a catch up, Kirsty. That rings a bell. Yeah, I haven't. I've been really bad lately with watching any kind of TV, but I seem to think I've seen it on one of my streaming services.
Everyone's talking about Saltburn, actually. I had people up at New Year and they were absolutely couldn't talk about anything else. So I think it obviously is going to be one that I'll have to put on my list to watch.
Yeah, I think so. I keep seeing it around. I think I'm thinking of a different book. There's like a horror ice hockey book as well. I think I'm on a different one. Maybe the title didn't change. It's two separate books. Oh, is it a different? I don't know whether R.F. Kuang wrote Poppy Wars as well, or whether I'm getting confused with. I'm so terrible with author names. Do you think being one that I might actually be able to keep them?
It's just because God, many.
There are Godgrave and not Godkiller. Thank you. Oh, so she did write Poppy War, I think. Trying to keep up with all the comments. People are so knowledgeable about books, and I try to keep up, but it's so hard when you're writing as well, isn't it? So
it's good to have this, and then you can go back and watch it, and then you can double check all the recommendations, and then you've got it there. So that's also good.
This is it. I always bring them up on screen because I know that I'm going to come back later and jot them all down. I sometimes do it when they're on screen, but then I lose the thread of what I'm doing, so I have to come back to it. Yes, thank you. all three. I was thinking that in my head. I was like, is it the same author? Is somebody really that multifaceted? But yes, apparently Arif Wang is. So you're going to work on your horror through all the sprints tonight. Is that the main focus?
Yeah, so tonight what I'm going to do is go back over what I've done because I've had a break, and I'm just going to work on the future character arcs and character profile, and I'm just going to detail everything down so to minimize any plot holes down the line. And I'm going to just get into a position so the next week the kids go back to school, I'm ready to pick it up and just get into it. So that's my plan. I'm going to do quite a good bit of work, I think, tonight, so that'll be good.
That sounds great. Do you write full time or do you do it alongside something else?
Well, my mum lives next door to me, and she has a beauty salon in her back. So this is where I'm sitting just now. And for years, that's what I did, just like beauty thing, waxing and all that kind of stuff. So I still do that, but it's never been something I've wanted to do. It was just something I ended up doing. So I still do a little bit of that. It's just people that I've known for years, but really I'm mainly writing full time.
Oh, that's exciting to be able to dedicate the time to it. I'm still at the point of doing it in between other things. It doesn't feel like a job yet, but I'm working on that.
That's good.
Excellent. That's great. Is that today?
Oh, well done.
Oh, I'm never going to live this down. I couldn't think of something to write in Chris's book, so we ended up with like a Buffy thing, where she says something like to Giles, he's knocked out, and she says, just think of something clever and tell him I said it. So I wrote something to that effect in Chris's book.
Yeah. Oh, I love that line.
It's so sad and brilliant, isn't it? So I think I wrote insert clever thing or witty thing here in his book. So thank you for the reminder, Chris. I always panic and don't know what to write in people's books. So I'm working on my Mina edit, and I'm also reading this chunky but very good book. I'm showing you the side because the title isn't on the cover. It's Where Sleeping Girls Lie, Farida's book, her follow-up to Ace of Spades that came out 2 or 3 years ago. And it's very good so far. I've read about 100 pages, so if I get enough Mina done, I may read a bit, but I think realistically I need to get my teeth into Mina. So anybody who's not been here before, we do 2 40-minute sprints. I sometimes do a 40-minute sprint at the end and sometimes a 30-minute one, depending how late it has got. So I'm going to put the timer on. I'm going to mute me and Shelly, and then Shelly, like I said, if you want to turn your camera off, you can, or you can leave it on while you write. I tend to leave mine on. And then we will see you on the other side.
Cool. Have fun reading and writing, everybody.
Bye. Sorry, Shelley, I feel I should have warned you about the cat. Did it make you jump?
I was actually so into that there. I jumped when I heard the cat meow.
Honestly,
I know for future.
I know, and it still gets me. And I always think, oh, I've got 2 minutes left. It'll be fine. It won't get me this time. And then the next thing I know, I'm jumping because it's meowing at me. Because I always think I can get more done than I actually can. How did you get on?
Yeah, good. Well, I'm on chapter 3 now, so I've actually just tightened everything up because I don't know how you do things usually when you're writing, but I tend to like to write a good section and then I like to go and edit it all and get to a place where I feel happy with it so that I've kind of almost done a draft edit by the time that I've finished. So I'm writing all my chapter summaries as well as I'm going just to make sure that I've got it all. I've got a new binder I got for Christmas, so I'll get everything laid out and I'm trying to be a bit more organised. But yeah, I'm quite happy. How about you? How did you get on with your edits?
Yeah, really well. So I'm at page 104 and I've got 400 pages to go, but I've done it on paper and then I've got to type them up. So it's quite quick. I won't get it done tonight, but I should hopefully get it done tomorrow night. So that's good because I think the proofreader edits are going to come back next week and then I'm kind of doing my edits alongside theirs. So in theory, it should be done in a few weeks. It's going to print end of this month, so it needs to be.
That's good. And so do you have to do all of this before you send? Does your agent like look over it or is this just straight to the publisher?
Yeah, so because my agent, she edited the first book heavily to go out on submission, and what she tends to do is with a new thing, she will edit it heavily, but with everything else, like the Mina book 2 and 3, she read them and gave like structural feedback at an early stage, but she won't read them again. I've got an editor who's like freelance. She doesn't, because UConn are small, they don't have like in-house editors, they use freelance ones. So she's a freelance UConn editor, and then I've had a copy editor and a proofreader. So it feels like it's been through a lot of checks. And my husband is my main editor, so he's blessed him still sitting next to me. Yeah, he's doing checks with me, which is really useful because he knows what I'm doing, so he's kind of a sounding board to bounce stuff off all the time. But yeah, going back to what you were saying about editing, I'm like you. I don't push on and do a super messy first draft just because I think with the mystery, with it being quite intricate, I think I could write myself into a corner really quickly. So if I figure out something's not working or there's a big plot hole, writing through it just won't help. So I do go back. I don't polish the language or anything. Like if I spot a typo, I'll fix it, but I won't like agonize over wording or because I put a lot of references in. I don't like sit there and check all the years there and then. I do that later. But yeah, it is hard because some people I know they can write like a really quick, messy draft, but I just think it wouldn't work for me or for the books I write.
I've tried it. Do you know, sometimes I'll speak to people and I'll be like, oh, that sounds like a cool idea, and I'll maybe try it for a little while, but I always go back to this way. And I figured if it's not broke, don't fix it. We all have a different method and we just kind of need to stick to what works for us, I think. But you do sound like you're very similar. I was saying with the typos and things, because I use Grammarly, so that helps. And I'll go and do all that part once the kind of first draft's properly done. But yeah, this is a really helpful way to do this. I might join into your writing sprints if I'm not doing anything in the evenings, because usually I'll work during the day, but I feel like I've got a cup of coffee and I'm all jazzed up. And yeah, it's good. It's good to know that there's other people doing this as well. I think that is quite really encouraging.
Yeah, that's why I subscribed to StreamYard, just because I find that I'm the most productive, and I was only doing it once a week. So I thought, right, I'm going to do it 2 or 3 times a week if I can. I don't if I'm super busy with other stuff. Somebody's put a comment on that one of us is hitting the mic. I don't know. Is your mic? Have you got a mic somewhere, or is it your phone? I don't know whether.
Well, I'm just on my phone, but I do have my earphones. Do you think that would be better if I put them in?
Probably not. It's probably just the phone mic, whether anything's brushing against it, but it sounds okay to me. I'm just hearing an occasional
just moving back a wee bit, see if that does that sound any better?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, maybe something might have just been brushing against the mic, but it's fine. These things are very chill. They're kind of not as polished. It's not like doing an author interview or anything. It's just kind of friends sitting and writing together. Let's see how people are coming on, getting on. I haven't seen any messages from you, Stephen. Have you commented on one of my YouTube videos? Because I'm a little bit behind. So I'll in the next couple of days I'm going to try and catch up, so I will reply if it's on one of my other videos. I haven't. Have you read that, Shelley? I've not heard of it, I don't think.
Wind Up Girl, no, I haven't.
Oh, I need to do that this weekend. I kind of am sad, but also I want rid of it now. How about you, Shelley? Have you got rid of Christmas yet?
No, my husband went back to work on the 3rd, and he said he's going to take the tree down this weekend. And just because I've got the kids running around during the day, I thought, I'll leave it. I'm gonna let him do it. I put all the tree up so he can take it down. So that's a plan. So I think it's going to come down on Saturday. So we've had it up a little bit extra, longer than we probably should have, to be honest. But yeah, Saturday I think it's going to be.
You've got to fit it in when you've got time. We're the same, that I won't do it on my own with my 3-year-old just because I know what would happen, because a lot of my baubles are breakable. I will need to sit and wrap them up. So I'll take them off and wrap them, and then I'll let Kev put it all in the loft. Oh, sorry, Kirsty said something else I didn't actually reply to. Oh, that's exciting. How far are you, Kirsty? Are you nearly done with this one? Oh, that's great. Do you do that on YouTube? I feel like I've caught one of them before, Paula, but I should actually look when other people are doing them, because I really enjoy it. But I kind of forget. If you want to drop the link to your channel, Paula, if it lets you do that. Oh, no, you didn't enjoy it, obviously. Is that the author, Paolo? I don't know how to pronounce that. Becky Gallupi? It sounds Italian now or something, I think. That's a good point to be, Kirsty. You're feeling that like towards the end. I get to about there and start to write faster. I find the middle, I don't know about you, Shelley, but I find the middle really difficult, and kind of don't tend to know how to, I know what the ending is, and getting there's a bit of a challenge. And then I get to that like 3/4 point and I just take off. Do you have a point that you find more difficult?
Yeah, I find I don't mind the first third. The first third's always quite good, and then the sort of the middle area is tricky, because I sometimes get to the first third and I think, I feel as if I'm almost done. How am I going to get to write a book that's going to be 60,000 words or whatever? So I sometimes need to find a way to pad the middle part out, but keep it interesting and keep the pace tight. So I find the middle bit quite tricky, but when I come to the end, I usually find that the word count isn't a problem, and it actually usually ends up being more than I originally intended it to be anyway. It's kind of the same every time.
Yeah, same here. I with Mina 3, I thought, oh, this one's going to be shorter, and it's basically the same length as Mina 2.
Yeah.
Which was longer than I intended it to be. Also, Paula's sprints are on a Monday on YouTube, if anybody's interested. Oh, that's exciting, Paula. Let me know if you want to ask any questions, Sharon. I think I said I was going to send you my questions. I didn't. So if you want anything, please tell me and I will send it over. Oh, hi, Pete. Thank you for coming on. I do this every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. UK time, and then occasional other nights. If you check my YouTube, I tend to post that day on my social media as well, what I'm doing. I'm sure you will be great, Sharon. You're very easy to talk to, so I bet the author will really enjoy it as well.
Yeah, they will. It'll be grand.
Yeah, Sharon has set up an indie horror book club, so if anybody wants to join that, there's a Discord, and Sharon posts about it on social media. Oh, thanks for coming on, Adrian. See you at the next sprint whenever you can make it.
Hi, Adrian.
Okay, so I have just about caught up on comments. Paula also wishing Sharon luck. Agreed. She will be great. Kirsty. Great. So if people want to join the Discord group, Sharon can sort that out. Is there something I need to say, Kev? Oh yeah, thank you, Kev, for reminding me. Kirsty's also set up a vampire book club this year. So if anybody's wanting to read a vampire book a month, if you go to Kirsty, in fact, I'll bring up Kirsty's. It's Kirsty ES like that on Kirsty's social media. I think it is on most platforms. I'm excited about reading that. We're reading Masters of Death, is it called? Olivia Blake's book that has vampires in it, and I think maybe other creatures. That's the first book, and then the Mina books are the second, third, and fourth book. So in February.
Right. Well, I wanted to read them again anyway, so that I can be ready for the third one. So can I, Kirsty, if you follow me at Shelly Mack Books, and then I can follow you back, and I'm the same everywhere across the board. and then that way I can join in the book club. That sounds great.
Thank you. I do recommend that with mysteries. I always think I did that with the Good Girls Guide to Murder books as they came out. I reread just because I think there's so many clues and things that you need to remember, and I don't think I try and kind of remind people if everyone is, but it is difficult. Oh yay, Sharon joining in with Kirsty's too. Great. So Kirsty will get in touch with you, Shelly.
Brilliant. Kirsty.
I've downloaded it on my Kindle. Kirsty posted this beautiful Illumicrate edition picture, and I looked at it, and they're quite. I think they're still being sold as a set on Illumicrate, and you can buy them individually on eBay. But of course, they're expensive. So if I absolutely love it, I might try and get one. But I'm going to read it on my Kindle first because it was a bit cheaper. I'm trying not to spend so much money on books. It's really hard.
That was my resolution, was not to buy loads of books this year because my TBR is crazy and I don't have time to read them all. I think I read, how many books did you read last year? Do you know?
100, because I was really rubbish on my Goodreads. I didn't fill it in, and then Kev, bless him, sat and filled it in for me at the end of the year, and my target was 100, and I read exactly 100. I was like, how does this happen?
That's good. I was like 66. That was like, I didn't think that was very good, but I just felt like I just had too much going on, you know. But I'm going to try and really up my game this year and see if I can read a good lot more. I was reading a lot of arcs for people last year, so that kind of cut into reading the books that were coming out that I really wanted to read.
Yes.
So I'm kind of trying to focus a little bit more this year on just reading what I want to read. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I've had, I think, 4 or 5 blurb requests in the past couple of months. So I've mainly been reading books for blurbing. So the books that come out in a while. I think one of them doesn't come out till next autumn. So it feels weird to be like pushing and trying to read something that isn't out for so long, but it's because they want to put them in the proofs. So I've kind of got to read on a schedule for those. And I think I've just got one left to do. And then, yeah, I will be joining the Read What I Want club as well. I did feel quite proud of myself. Yeah, I'm trying to use the library more, and I'm buying some books. That's amazing, Paula. I mean,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm the same, Paula. So this month I was like, I'm going to be quite chill in January, and then I think I'm reading with like 4 or 5 different book clubs. So I've got to read those books at least, and I'm on the live chats for 2 of them as well, so I definitely need to read those, or I'll look really, in fact 3 including my own, so I'll look really silly if I don't read those 3 books at least.
Yeah, that I'm following along with obviously your book club, and then I've actually got that book right here, Catch Your Death, because I thought, well, if I get a second, I might actually read a wee bit of that. And then there's the Tales of the Point Horror book club as well. And then now this vampire one, I don't know what I'm doing to myself, but I do want to, I've got the reading kind of bug just now. So November and December were the most books that I read last year. So I'm kind of in the zone. So I'm ready for it. I'm going for it, definitely. I'm going to just earmark reading time each day. And then that way I'll definitely get through a lot more books.
My main parenting hack is my son's really high energy, and when he does have downtime on his tablet or watching TV, I get my book out then, because I find that I can have like 5-10 minutes and then he's up and off again. But it just means that I can keep chipping through my reading, and I tend to read in an evening when I put him down as well, because I sit with him as he falls asleep, because I'm that parent. I haven't managed to put the child down and walk away.
I'm still that parent sometimes, and mine are 7 and 6.
I don't know how to put a child down and walk away. I just don't. If somebody can teach me, please do. But so I tend to, while he's falling asleep, I read on my Kindle. So that's more designated reading time.
Well, it's good multitasking, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I tried. That's how I read. I don't ever read to relax. I read to squeeze it in. That's great, Kay, especially if you've got lots of stuff going on. I'm at the point.
Yeah, that's how I was kind of feeling too. I'm right there with you. Yep.
Everybody reads at different speeds, don't they, and can fit it into their lives to a greater or lesser extent. So, I know people who read 5 books a year to hundreds of books a year. It just really depends, isn't it? And for me, it varies a lot. Some years I tend to read between 50 and 100, like 100. I'm surprised actually that I read so many, because it didn't feel like a good reading year. It felt like a good writing year, and I felt like I didn't read that much, but I read some manga and stuff like that. So I think that probably evened it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So Sharon's in 4 book clubs too, yeah. Oh, well, that is your life though, Sharon. Like, you know, don't say you've got no life. I think that reading is such a lovely hobby, isn't it? And such a lovely form of relaxation, escapism. So
That's what I was thinking, escapism, 100%. And it's, you know, it's a great aspect to have in your life. And sometimes books are your solace, aren't they?
especially doing the book clubs and stuff, like it feels like
Yeah.
online is the main community I'm part of a lot of the time. Like, you know, chatting to people about books is like the most fun that I have. So in terms of social context, like I think I have more fun chatting about books online quite often than I do talking to people in real life, which sounds sad, but it's just you find online people that you really connect with, don't you? Like you seek out people who've got similar interests and who you get on with.
And I found, when I found Mina, I was actually in a Waterstones bookshop. I think it was the one in Edinburgh. And I saw your book on the shelf and I bought it. So I actually didn't come across you on social media. It was through being in a bookstore. And then when I found you online and then I saw like all your memorabilia and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, she's a Buffy fan. I was like, this is amazing. And there's just so many different things. Like, oh, your bookshelves just look very similar to a lot of the books that I have on my own shelf. And you kind of just feel like connected to people because of that, you know, just because of the similar interests. And that's so good being able to do this and have a chat with you and stuff. It's just quite surreal but nice, you know. It's really good.
Yeah, it's lovely. I had a moment like that where at Scholastic we did like a launch event for the anthology, and there were 6 of the contributors together, which is the most we'd had at that point. And I just looked down the line. I was like, "What is my life that all these authors whose books I've been reading are now in an anthology that I've put together?" And as they went down the line, all of the questions about inspiration and things, and we were all inspired by similar stuff. So we'd all been watching Scream, and we'd been terrified by It, the Stephen King original TV movie. We'd all been reading Point Horror, and it was so nice to think like we didn't know each other in the 90s and as we were growing up, but we all had similar like experiences. It's just really nice to find your people via online. That's amazing. 28 more than your target.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me last year, Kirsty. I think that reading and writing is a really hard balance because you can get sucked into one or the other. And last year, I definitely got sucked into writing. Setting deadlines really helped me, Kirsty, because this year I haven't actually got that many like proper deadlines yet. So I'm setting deadlines for myself, like artificial ones, just to make me actually do it. Yeah, that's it, Sharon. And that's the thing, like if you're housebound as well and not very mobile, the online community can like be your main community. That's really difficult, Kay, if you're at that point of transition and kind of getting used to it. So I'm glad the online community is a real support in that. Yeah. I've said that to Kev, Paula, that the days that I have my son are more fun and more enriching, but so much more tiring than doing my day job. Like my day job, I feel quite refreshed when I come home. And by the end of the day with a 3-year-old, I feel really happy but exhausted. So yeah, that's totally, nobody can tell me mum life is not work. It's definitely work.
It's a different kind of tiredness as well. It's sort of all consuming, you know, and any little moments, you're allowed to want moments for yourself as well. I think that's important to know. Because sometimes I think the whole mum guilt and, you know, it gets you down and you think, you know, I've not been the best that I could be today, but we're only human. We can only do and try our best. And, you know, you're allowed to be a bit selfish sometimes and take a wee minute for yourself, because I think it helps as well just to have that moment where you can just, a moment of clarity where you can just sort yourself out and get back in the zone.
It makes you a better parent, definitely. I've spent 3 years being a mom and being an author and being a wife, and I've not spent much time just being on my own and relaxing. So I've booked some stuff this year. I've booked a hair appointment and a facial and a massage, like to try and have some alone time.
Good.
Hi, Liz. We are good, thank you. We're just talking parenting and life and putting the world to rights. We will do a sprint in a minute, I swear. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You can disengage from like the online social media life if you want to. And yeah, definitely having young children is amazing, isn't it? But it's a lot as well. And talking to other people about it is really nice.
Yeah, it's hard because you're obviously wanting to, you know, your job for them is to shape them into the kind of person that they need to be so that they can go off and do all these things themselves when they're on their own, when they're older. But to just do it all tied in a big red bow with lots of love. And it's, you know, it's not always as easy as that. You do need to have your moments to just breathe. And that's important. Breaks are so important. If you can get them, just take them. And if anytime somebody said to me when the kids were young, if anybody ever offers to help you, say yes to that person. Don't be, you know, this person that thinks that you need to do it all. You know, if you get an opportunity, take it. And I did do that, and you had a lot of people helping, and the kids were really young, and it made a difference, definitely.
Yeah, both of our parents do a lot to support us, and it's really great. Killers of a Certain Age. Is that the graphic novel, or is that a novel? I love that title. That sounds.
Well, it sounds good. Yeah, I love that. That's what I was looking at there. That sounds great.
Yeah, straight away when you see a title like that, you want it. Oh, that's so lovely. You do have more friends, definitely. This is where I've met some of my best friends online. Shelly, who does the Tales Point Horror Book Club. We met years ago online, and she's one of my closest friends now.
Yeah, she's so good. Oh, a graphic novel, brilliant.
That's kind, Sharon. Oh, it's a book. I think I'm thinking of a different one. There's a YA graphic novel with a similar title. I'm glad you're enjoying it. If the book is as good as the title, then we need to get that.
Yeah.
Okay, I managed to get through the comments. It's been so lovely. Everybody's been so chatty tonight. I'm sure Sharon is very happy to help, Kay. Let's go to another sprint. So you're going to carry on writing in this one, Shelley?
Yeah, I'm sort of in the zone now. And I'm going to, you know, try and prepare myself for the cat meow again. Hopefully, I won't jump this time.
Everybody does, and I still do. So I've become addicted to it now. Though looking at that little cat, like counting down and judging me, is essential for writing now. Right, I'm going to put the timer on. So Shelley and I will see you in 40 minutes, everyone. Bye. Hello. Were you ready for it that time, Shelley?
I kind of looked up when it was like 1:19. I was like, right, and I just kept looking until it was coming on. So I didn't get the same fright. I've just reached a part in my book where I'm writing where the girl looks in the mirror and finds something that she doesn't want to see. So it's kind of like I didn't want a cat to then scare me at that moment.
That sounds intriguing. I like it. So did you have a good session?
Yeah, so I've written 50 pages of my work in progress, and I'm at page 30. So I've kind of managed to get through a good bit of it, and I've added a good wee bit in here, a few tweaks, and I've got all my chapter summaries up to date. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased. Yeah, what about you?
Excellent. Yeah, I've got up to page 170. So I was hoping for 200 tonight, but I think that might have been a bit overambitious. And I've got one of my blurbs sent off because I thought I'm going to stop agonising about it. I don't know about you, but if I have to write something really concise, I panic more than if I had to write a full article, like writing a one-line blurb for a book. And I'm like, no, what do I say? Can I just write a review or a synopsis? But
I feel like when you're doing something for somebody else, it's even more pressure on you. Like even when I write reviews, I'm like triple checking all my grammar and punctuation, and then I'll sometimes trip myself up and I'm like, is this right? Is it not right? It's like your mind plays tricks on you. So I think it just does it to us to, have a laugh with us, basically, to wind us up.
I just want to sound really pithy and clever and like I've got something really good to say rather than just, I really liked this book. It was good and nice and fun. Yeah, I don't get any better at it. I'm sure there are some authors who've been doing it a long time, but maybe I'm not practiced enough. It doesn't like trip off the tongue or come out of my mind fully formed. So I sat there for ages doing that, just writing one sentence.
I think some people just like to have a simple, nice review as well. So just keep that in mind. I think that,
That's the thing. And I sent it to the publisher and I just said, look, if you want to take a couple of words from it, like they often take things like a brilliant book. And that's all they'll take. And you've agonised over all of this and they'll just take the one little tiny bit. So I've given them a couple of things that they could pull out from it, I think. So hopefully that's enough. But yeah, I think I'm done with work for the night. I've got, if we do half an hour for last sprint, I'm going to play Dreamlight Valley and watch Strongman because we're watching World's Strongest Man. We watch it every year and we're nearly up to the final. It's all aired, I think, already. So I've managed not to see any spoilers this year. So we've got to finish the one before the final and then watch the final tomorrow, probably. It's the only sporting event I have any interest in, so I find it quite weird.
That's good.
And we've been to watch it live and everything, like proper fun. It's really fun, actually, and it's got a really nice, it's one of those things like the book community. It's a really nice sense of community, like all the strongmen know each other, and I like how they cheer each other on. It sounds really sad, but when I'm watching it, like somebody will have dropped out through injury or they'll have already won their event and they'll be standing there like clapping other people on, and it just feels like really nice and positive to watch.
That's so relatable as well, because that's exactly what the writing community is like as well. I find, it's like, everybody knows that like we all write books, but we all really, really want each other to do well and find their place in the market as well, because there's room for everybody. And I think because we're all such avid readers, we all want to read each other's books and see them out on the shelves. So that sounds like it's relatable, but in a sporting way.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never watched it, so do you go through do you have favourites and things like that, just the way that you would with normal?
Yeah, I've done in the past, and one of them's retiring this year, and one of them's already left because it's so intense on their bodies. They lift really, really ridiculously heavy weights and break world records all the time and stuff. And so some of them only do it for a few years, or they do it for 10 years. And we've been watching it probably since my late teens or early 20s. I think Kev's watched it even longer. So yeah, you follow some of these people through the whole careers, and then they finish like there's two real favorite people that are supposed to be finishing this year, and I feel a bit like, I'm not going to see them.
I should tell my husband about this. I bet he would like that. Where do you watch it?
So are we watching it on? Oh, Kev's actually fallen asleep. Where are we watching World Strongman? Is it on? Yeah, Channel 5. So we're watching like the Channel 5. Is it My 5? The live stream.
My 5, yeah.
Yeah, so you probably can still get all this year's on there, but we're working our way up to the final, and it's just really nice. I don't find competitive. I mean, obviously it's competitive because they all want to win, and some of them have got a bit of swagger, and they're like, I'm going to bite the floor with everybody else. But Like, and they get which is funny in and of itself. I quite enjoy that, like a little bit of banter, and some of them start like little rivalries between them that you can tell just for the cameras, and they love each other really. So yeah, it's good fun. It's like my kind of favorite kind of reality TV, I think. Let's see what the people in the comments are doing. Oh, I wonder if you've come back, Liz, by the time I see this comment. I do that too. I sit and look at it like, is it going to go off yet? And then I look away and then it does, and it catches me every time. Oh, that sounds good. I was going to ask the same question. Yeah, I know. Like, book good, cover nice, characters great. Like, why is it so difficult? I think it's because, like you said, Shelley, you're talking about somebody else's work. You want it to come across really well, and it's being really succinct. I'm a succinct person.
Yeah, I started just keeping a notebook in my phone. Every time I start a book, I'm just writing little notes as I go, like kind of per quarters of the book, and just my thoughts, so that I can then just do a copy and paste at the end. I find it's easier to do that for me anyway, but I didn't used to do that. And I've got these little tabs. What did I do with them? For here they are here. My mum got me like a reading journal, and these as well. So I'm thinking, like, if I'm reading a physical book, I'm just going to write little notes if I see a line that I like for a quote, because I thought that's a good thing to add to review as well, like a quote that you've liked. And I'll always be like, oh, that's good, and then I'll forget where it is in the book when I'm finished. So I'm just trying to be a bit more organised so I can do better reviews this year, because I am the same. I sometimes agonise a bit over it, you know.
That sounds like a really good idea. I've tried annotating in the past, and I think I got into my head of it looking pretty rather than it being functional. Actually, I think I need to just, it's like, oh, I've made it, I've made it like look a bit smudgy, but actually I bought something that Kev laughed at me, but they're amazing. They're these really thin highlighter strips. They're like sticky, like the sticky tabs that you'd put on the side, but they're the width of highlighter, and you can actually stick it on the book so you can peel it off rather than making a mess. And I'm enjoying those so far, and I'm going to try using them a bit more. I don't know if they'll fall out of my book and also cause me headaches in the future, but for now, like, they look really nice. And I don't like it when ink bleeds through the page as well, and obviously there's no bleed through, so they're good fun. Oh, Bear Town, sorry, Paula, I completely forgot. You did say that earlier. Yeah, that's what I need to do, Sharon. Yours seem to read really effortlessly, both of you though, Sharon and Shelley. Like, it's nice to know that you worry about it too, Shelley, because your reviews read really nicely. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh no, I just said thank you. That's all.
Sorry, I started reading Kay's comment. I tend to do this, like I'm trying to have a conversation on the screen and then I'm having a conversation with the comments too. I can't remember any of it, Kay. I'm so bad. You don't suck at all, Paula. But definitely Sharon does seem to have a flair for it. Yeah. I know what you mean. I had to do a lot of that as well. Yes. That's great, isn't it, to know as a reviewer that your reviews are having an impact. That's kind of what you want. I love it if somebody tags me and says, I bought this because Amy said I should buy it, and then I'm like, oh no, the panic of, will you like it?
Well, I think you're a very influential person. A lot of the time when you do put things up, I'm like most of the books you share, I'm like, I have to save the post because I'm like, better go back to that so I don't forget that book to get, And then of course that just eats into my book buying addiction, which is already out of control actually. The only thing I buy myself, I don't even buy myself clothes or anything like that, just books. That's it.
We just facilitate each other's addictions to it, don't we?
Yeah.
I buy skincare products. That's another ridiculous thing that I buy. Like, I'll go through a phase, and at the moment I'm ordering this particular brand, Grown Alchemist, and I just keep thinking, oh, I don't have that, and I order the next thing and the next thing. So yeah, books and skincare are my two kind of luxury items that I enjoy.
Yeah, it's so weird. I used to buy skincare products a lot, but my daughter has got severe allergies to so many I can't even name really, because one of them is pulses, which covers obviously a large variety of things. But because of that, one of her major allergies is coconut, and it's in so many skincare products. So I have to use like, the creams that you get for like eczema and stuff, and the Dermacol. I just have to use plain stuff like that now for skincare, where I used to buy a lot of like maybe some Elemis things and stuff like that in the past, only if I had enough money for it, right enough. I used to like research it and like try and buy good stuff, but it's so difficult now.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, my son so far, touch wood, doesn't seem to be. I'm a little bit of an allergic person. I've got quite sensitive skin, and certain foods like flare me up. And so far, I haven't noticed anything with him. I've taught some kids with severe allergies, and it's really difficult.
Yeah, it's hard. We kind you kind of get into a routine though, and you sort of, you know, I managed to create a life for her where she's not missing out on anything. And we have a lot of people in our home, like, and all my friends are really good, and they'll bring their kids over because I think other people get stressed about it as well, like having you in their home and they eat, you know, peanuts and eggs and stuff like that. So they, you know, it's. I think I don't want anybody else to be stressed about it either. So we just kind of do a lot of things where you're able to have a bit of control there with it, which is good. And she's yeah, we've got a wee system now, so we're kind of we're coping. It's okay. It's all
That's
good.
good. That's good. It sounds like you're totally on it, and that's all a child needs, isn't it? A parent who is on top of it and is their advocate. Oh, yeah, we are, Sharon. Yeah.
Enablers are the best people. Woo!
Oh, I haven't heard of that. I'm going to have to look at that Inky list.
Oh, that's a good recommendation.
I just tend to find natural and not too many ingredients are good for me.
Yeah.
And there's some affordable options, but invariably a lot of them aren't very affordable. So I kind of save up and buy like one good thing rather than having lots of options. Like I've got a bit addicted to this brand and I'm just like gradually buying things. Like every couple of months I'll buy another one.
Yeah.
Because they're last stages. Yeah, it's just anything like I like anything that makes me feel a bit comforted and you know it feels like a bit of a treat is good in my book, and skincare definitely does that for me. So I think it's time for a sprint. Are you going to carry on writing or are you going to become a couch potato like me?
I'm going to keep going. I think I'm going to try and see if I can fire through the next 20 pages just now and get it done.
You are good, very, very dedicated.
Going to try. And I'm going to plug my charger in as well because I'm noticing that's running low. So I will see you in half an hour.
Yes, I'll put the timer on and we'll see you on the other side. And this will be the last sprint. So see you in a bit, everyone.
Perfect.
Hello. Oh, sorry, I lost you for a second there. Or streaming, I'd lost you.
Yeah, I think I accidentally, when I had moved my camera, I think I might have accidentally exited during it, and then I went back into the backstage.
It's all good. You're here now. So how did your last one go?
Good. I've not quite managed to get. I've got about another 9 pages to kind of look through, but I will do it before I go back into the house. And then I'm in a good stead for starting. Maybe might be a little bit of writing tomorrow because I'm kind of ready for it. Or plan it. What I might do is plan my next 3 chapters so that I know roughly what's going to happen in them, and then I've got a guide to go with.
Sounds like you've done amazing tonight. I'm impressed that you can keep going as well. My brain gets to a point around 9 p.m. where it just goes, nope, you've done for today. That's it. Usually
I would say nighttime is not a good time for me. I usually feel like I have switched. Maybe it's because I've been kind of off all day relaxing. It's different. I think if I was writing during the day, I definitely wouldn't be able to do it at night. So it's been good, yeah. I've used my time wisely. I'm pleased about that. So thank you. I say thank you to you for that, for giving me the opportunity to get back in the game. Oh, well, you're welcome to come back on, and we're doing these anyway. So even if I've got somebody on, you can obviously kind of follow along and exactly. Not feel you have to be presentable. That's why I'm not hugely presentable anyway. But when I'm watching other people's, you can be wrapped up in a blanket and do whatever. We were talking skincare before, weren't we? I've heard of Liz Earle being good. I need to look into this Inky list if this is what the cool kids are using right now. Oh, if we missed you, Kirsty, sorry about that, but thank you for coming on. Oh, that is a win. That's a big win. In our house, sleep is it's not easy to come by when you've got a young child. So definitely is not. Do you know, it was okay. Like I went through 4 years of sleep deprivation, and then they sorted themselves out. We're sleeping through the night, and it was all fine. And now I've got 2 cats, and they keep me awake at night. And I'm back to having sleep deprivation. They're scratching to get in the window and scratching to get back in, and I'm like, oh, I'm here again. It's still not come in our house, the sleeping through the night. We had a patch from 3 to 6 months where we thought we'd got it because we were basically getting through the night, and then it stopped. And now we're down to about 1 or 2, so it's not too bad, but it's so hard, and I can't get back to sleep after. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to waking up in the morning and going, oh, nobody woke me last night. Thanks, Sharon. Oh, she finished her book. Well done, Sharon. Well done, everyone. I think it might be time to go. I feel like the sleepiness is descending, and I just heard a little mumble from upstairs, so I might be needed. Speaking of people not sleeping. Well, thanks very much for having me. That was so nice to be on and be part of this. I've really enjoyed it. It's been so much fun, very motivating as well. So I appreciate that. Oh, great. Thank you for coming on. It's been lovely. Yeah, I've been there. Usually I can get in back to sleep, but that's generally what time we generally get, 10 p.m, 4 p.m, 4 a.m. at the moment. But yeah, thank you, Shelley, for coming on. It's been lovely. Thank you, everybody who's joined in. I will be doing this again, hopefully next Thursday, and then some other times in between. So just keep an eye on social media. Yes, and the live show with Shelley, whichever side you're on. I never know which side you're going to come up on when it's recorded. Yeah, we're going to be chatting about You Better Watch Out. My brain went through all the different YA book titles then, but yes, You Better Watch Out is the one we're going to talk about. Yeah, I am looking forward to that very much so on Sunday. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So I'll see you on Sunday. See everybody else in the chat. Brilliant. Enjoy the strongest man as well. Thank you. Bye. See you on Sunday. Bye.